I got it, I think. Can you hear me now?
There you are. Okay, yes.
So I'm still at home today, and I thought I was going to join from my laptop at home. And then the password that I thought was the password didn't work. So my poor husband is trying to recover my password. So I'm like back to where we were a year ago, calling you guys on my phone, which I remember how awful that was. So I apologize, but I'm not sure about all the controls on the phone now because I haven't done this in a while. So anyway, I hope everybody's good. My big news today is yesterday we filed a lawsuit in St. Louis County Circuit Court against the presiding judge to recover lost rents that have accrued since we haven't been allowed to do executions. I know a lot of you have talked about this theory a little bit or heard about this theory that the inability to recover our properties through the execution process is basically a taking of the property by the government deciding that the deadbeat renters have a superior right to the owners of the property. It's a taking of the property, and you've probably heard taking and unconstitutional and that kind of thing before. The government's not just allowed to take your property and not compensate you in some way, unless it's like when they forfeit drug dealers' cars or whatever. So we've had this taking theory for a while. We've been kicking it along. I've been working on it with two other really good lawyers, John Hine and Randall Ranker. And we finally got to the point where we felt we could file it, and we filed it yesterday. And the judge called John Hine and said, oh, but we're going to have some orders soon that are going to take care of some of these problems. And that might be, we expect soon that we'll be able to evict again. However, we still have, in the case that we're using as our test case, the same case we used as the writ, the people have not paid since 2019. So there is thousands and thousands of dollars in damages just for that one client alone. So we're going to see how we go with this. We don't expect the judge to pay personally out of his own pocket. This is in his official capacity, but they have basically taken our property, taken everyone's property by not allowing us to recover it legally from the defaulting tenants. So that's very new. We just filed it yesterday. You guys are the first ones to hear. We will keep you posted as to how that goes. That's our next thing we're doing with the writ fund money. We knew we were going to do this for a while. I've mentioned it before, but like I said, we finally got to the point yesterday where we had it all ready and we're willing to file it. And I can tell you, when you have a number of lawyers from different firms discussing about getting a lawsuit ready, it's always entertaining. You put one lawyer in a small town and he'll starve. You put two lawyers in a small town and they'll both make money. We all like to argue with each other and espouse different points of view. And then I haven't been in the office yet today. Chris was out in St. Charles, and so I haven't had a chance to talk to him yet. He's in trial out there. But for now, St. Charles and Jefferson are just working as normal. In the city, we understand that the presiding judge, his latest eviction stay is through April 5th. And we think he's going to expand it then to allow more, or maybe I should say contract it. He's going to have more evictions that are allowed to happen after April 5th. We are asking for all unlawful detainers. We're asking for ejectment lawsuits and odd evictions like that. And we're also asking for the oldest evictions, the ones where the judgments were prior to the pandemic, or there's rents owed prior to the pandemic, to be allowed to be issued on. There's a big debate about how many evictions there will be once the sheriff starts going out. I actually don't think there will be that many, because I think a lot of people have moved, or as they do in regular times, once they get the sheriff sticker on their door and the notice of the impending eviction, they'll go. And then by the time the sheriff gets out there, they'll be gone. So I don't think it's going to be thousands of homeless people on the street like the tenant lawyers would have you believe. I think it's going to be just an orderly process to restore possession to the landlords. So we'll just see how that goes. I heard yesterday that St. Louis County is not going to go to phase 2 on Monday, as they had previously said they would. And you know that Judge Burton has tied going to phase 2 with resuming evictions there. I don't think they have to. Do that. I think he could change his administrative order, which is Administrative Order 45. And now that the delicate blossoms in the sheriff's office have been vaccinated for the most part, I think he could say, okay, we're going to restore, the ability of the sheriff to do evictions. We had sort of heard that he was considering starting as the city did with allowing certain evictions. I think I have a call with him on Tuesday. And so I'll ask for that again. I know that I've told you guys, I've bragged a little bit about all my access to all these judges and the calls I'm on and that kind of thing. Well, I don't, it's great to have this access and that they're all my friends and yeah, but it doesn't seem to be doing a lot of good. I feel like I haven't accomplished anything very recently with respect to that. We got that somewhat opening in the city last year, and we really haven't made progress since then. I feel like everybody's making progress except us. More people are vaccinated, the virus rates are down, the hospitalization rates are down, all those things are good news, but we don't seem to be moving the ball here. And then the next thing I want to talk about is the new money. Both the city and the county got new money from the feds. The county got 30 million. I'm not sure how much the city got, but neither of them, as of yesterday when I checked their websites, have started accepting applications or even detailing what the process is going to be to get emergency rental assistance. This money that I'm talking about is just for rental assistance, not for all the other things that are going to be in the new recovery bill. This is the money that was passed, in January, and they still have not gotten off their butts and figured out what they're going to need to do to give it out. We had lobbied strongly with the county to allow landlords to apply for the money, because we know we have problems with tenants that don't follow through and that kind of thing. And some of it, to be fair, is not entirely on the tenant side. A lot of these agencies have not been easy to work with, or have ghosted people, or have denied applications for technical reasons and that kind of thing. So we're watching for that ability to occur to get that money. But it seems to me that it's very unfair and hypocritical of St. Louis County, on the one hand, to say you can't evict anybody and we're sitting on all these millions of dollars. And on the other hand, to say, yeah, but we're taking our sweet time figuring out how to give this out and how to actually aid everybody. They seem to feel, I feel like since we have an eviction stay from the court, the county has no reason to expedite getting the eviction funds rolling out, because nobody's getting evicted. So what are they worried about? So we're just trying to keep the pressure on there as much as we can. If anybody knows a county councilman or anyone like that, I would call them and start complaining that, they're not doing this. In the city, well, the city's in a heck of a mess right now. But they haven't started administering their funds yet either. And I don't even really know what's going on down there. My contacts in that administration are on their way out the door, with the new mayor that will be elected in April. And so I don't know. I don't have any inside baseball on that right now. I think I can't see the chat as well because I'm on my phone, so I apologize for that. But I think someone talked about the new case that came out, and this is out of a federal court, I think in Ohio, that also struck down the CDC moratorium. We are not that affected by the CDC moratorium for the most part. Now my battery's running out. Great. Well, I'm already on this. Thanks, honey. We're not as affected by the CDC moratorium here. We don't really have a lot of tenants that have applied for that. And in the county, Christine has started winning these motions when the people say they've applied for the CDC and then they can't back up their proof that they're doing the things that they're supposed to be doing. Our new judge in the county, Judge Medler, has been, awarding these. So, while I'm happy that the federal court in Ohio struck down that moratorium, I'm pretty sure that that's going to be appealed. just as the one in Texas was. And like I said, I'm more interested in getting our local eviction stays removed than worrying about the CDC thing. So I think that's all I have today. Does anybody have any questions? Keep in mind, I can't see the chat, so you're going to have to unmute and talk to me if you have a question. Hello?
Any questions? Okay.
So Kathy, this is Dave Soto.
Hi. Oh, thank you for sending me that case, Dave. I meant
Oh,
to
you're welcome.
give you a shout out. Yeah.
So, down here in Cape Girardeau, we can use the new system that the governor signed where the tenant can apply for it in assistance. So the problem we ran into is we've been rejected on all three of them that we received because for some reason the name doesn't match. And I'm not sure what name they're talking about because we do have an LLC and we also do a DBA. So we tried both and we tried putting the LLC as a DBA and still got rejected because it's not the right name. So I've got that. So that's kind of the stuff that we're up against that. So I understand what you're talking about. So I have to call them and find out exactly what it is they're looking for.
Yeah, Dave, as always, I'm very interested in hearing your feedback on that. That's kind of what we've heard across the board with respect to the state program, that they reject claims for technical reasons, and they're very difficult to deal with. So I'd be really interested to hear what happens with that and how you work that out. And I think everybody on this call should be interested in that too. It's really, I think, a whole bunch of BS that it's not easier to do this. I mean, as I've said before, I think I got my PPP loans easier, for hundreds of thousands of dollars, easier than some poor landlord can get a couple of grand for rent. So, they say they want to prevent homelessness, but they're not really doing a lot to back that up.
Yep.
And when I get off this call, I'm going to be on a call with the reporter from the Business Journal, and I'm going to talk to him about that too, that they should be looking into why these programs are not giving out the money and why it's so difficult. Anybody else got anything today? Okay, guys, well, I think that's all I have. I know you have other real estate business to transact, so go do that.
Thank you, Kathy.
Yeah.
So much.
Yeah, thank you very much.